back here like that. And then I'm going to do my forward swing as if I'm going to turn back toward the target there. So I'm going to rotate back. Now I'm going to come forward, round up as you rotate that rib cage into your backswing position. And then to come back around, well, it's a lot easier to use that lower body and lead with the pelvis when I've turned going back here, down, and around into that. Hey everyone, Barry here. I'm going to show you a few drills this morning to help you with your upper body mobility, your thoracic mobility. They're going to help you with your backswing turn, and also this will help you with your forward swing motion. A lot of golfers struggle with their through swing, that completion of the swing through the ball. They struggle with consistency, generating a little bit of speed and power. And part of it is what you're doing on your backswing. The golf swing's a connected chain of events. So everything we do prior to impact affects impact. And the backswing is your activation for the through swing. And it's important that we turn properly. And a lot of golfers struggle with that for a couple reasons. So, one of it's technique, right? A learned technique. They don't really understand how the backswing motion should be in terms of the separation between the upper and lower body, which we'll talk about, which is really, really important. And then just the overall mobility, especially in the upper back, the thoracic and chest area. They struggle with a little bit of mobility, so they can't turn and pivot. Now in the backswing, we hear often, we've got to turn, right? We've got to turn and got to pivot and turn your left shoulder and make a complete shoulder turn going back. But the problem is, if my rib cage isn't opened up, if I don't have good posture, if I can't rotate my rib cage properly, you're not going to make a very good backswing, and you'll tend to over-rotate everything going back as a compensation in order to try to complete the backswing. And typically, here's the two errors that we're going to see, or actually there's three errors kind of combined together on this. The first one is just that complete over-rotation I talked about, where everything turns too much. The golfer's trying to turn back and they've got restrictions up through here, maybe in the hips, and everything over-rotates to try to finish the backswing. And we really don't have any separation between the upper and lower body. And then the other thing we see is the big hip slide. Going back, trying to shift the weight, can't turn, but I'm trying to shift my weight, so pelvis slides out to the right. So I get this tilt going here, not a very good downswing coming from that position. And then the other one is standing up, where we change posture simply because we can't turn and move properly. So I'm going to show you three little exercises that are going to help you with your swing technique, and they will help you with your overall backswing activation and mobilization. And those are the best drills, the ones that kind of help your technique and your mobility at the same time. So the first one, it's very simple. Take your golf stance here. I'll stand back a little bit more here. So just take your golf stance. Feet just outside the hips, knees slightly bent. I want to stand nice and tall. Just going to hold my hands out in front of me. You can put them together if you want, keep them apart a little bit. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to do some turns, twisting my upper body into my trail side. So I'm a right-handed player, so my trail side is the right side, and turning back. And so when I turn from this level plane, it's a little bit easier to feel the pivot. And I'm trying to get my chest to rotate over my trail foot. You're getting that good rotation there like that. If you're a little bit tight, start with, as you turn, just get your eyes to follow your hands as you go back. That makes it a little bit easier to open up the chest. But then we want to get it back to the point where you're just looking forward and turning. If you're having a little bit of trouble keeping your hands together, just grab a light little ball. Something like this. Just to keep your hands together. And rotate back. Just like that. And you can see the upper body is turning naturally more than the lower body. About a 3-to-1 ratio. That's very approximate, but that's just an easy way to think about it. Back here, like that. And then I'm going to do my forward swing, as if I'm going to turn back toward the target there. So I'm going to rotate back. Now I'm going to come forward and turn toward the target. And I'm going to try to use my pivot to bring the arms back around. So if I was swinging the golf club, I want to use my body pivot to bring the arms and the club around. So I'm up here, here. So you notice the pelvis leads first, right? And then up into my finish position. It's a lot easier to be active with the lower body if I've made a good backswing turn. It sets me up to move properly coming through the ball. Like that. So that's a good one to start with. You start level, it's a lot easier. It's a good warm-up too that you can do on the range, and it's easily to incorporate into your home practice. Now the next one that I want to do, it's a variation of that. It's actually a variation to this ball drill, which I've shown before, where we got the ball here and we turn back with the hands apart. That helps open up the chest. So this one here, you can do on the range. I don't know, not everybody goes to the range with a Swiss ball with them and that, or if you don't have one at home, take your golf stance, just kind of set yourself up in your golf posture. I'm going to turn back, and I'm going to imagine that I have that ball in my hand, but when I go back, I'm going to have my lead arm extended, and I'm going to let my trail arm swing around me as if I was trying to touch a wall behind me. So when I do this here, you can see what happens here. Trail arm goes behind me, my lead arm is extending out. I'm getting a fantastic opening up of the upper rib cage and that thoracic spine as I go back. And I'll get a good natural turn. There, like that. I don't have to overdo it. My hands and arms are very relaxed. I'm just making that good upper body pivot and turn. And you'll feel some good activation right from the ground up as you rotate that rib cage into your backswing position. And then to come back around, well, it's a lot easier to use that lower body and lead with the pelvis when I've turned going back here, down, and around into that finish position. You'll really feel it here. And I'm using my footwork and the rotation to bring those arms come whipping through. And it's a lot easier to do because I've made a good backswing position from here. So this is a great opener. And then through. If you're left-handed, well, it's just the opposite, right? Here. Your right arm will be extended, the left will go behind you. And then through. Just like that, and down, right? The lower body, the hips moving. It's a lot easier to have that nice dynamic through swing when you've had a good upper body stretch. And it's a good idea whether you're right or left-handed, do both sides. So this way you're opening your body up from both sides. You're getting your rib cage opened up and you're opening up your spine from left to right. It'll free up your rotation. And then the last variation, take a driver and you can put it over your shoulders. Now, our spine moves in a couple different positions when we're swinging. You know, we will have some back extension. Our back will naturally stretch as we go back. That's why we need thoracic mobility too, so that we can stretch going back and turn. And there's also side bend when we turn back. So we're going to use the club so we can help open up the chest and feel that turn a little bit more again. Just put it across your shoulders in the kind of classic Y position, one hand at each end. Get yourself into your golf posture. And just tilt down a little bit towards your lead side first before you turn, and then make your rotation. So I'm set. So if I'm looking at it just from straight on, I'm going to do a little bit of a side bend and then turn. So side bend and then turn. That'll help you get into that good backswing position where the upper body turns more than the lower body. So I'm in my golf posture, a little bit of side bend and turn. And you'll feel that really good upper body stretch when we do that. Rib cage will be turning to the trail foot I'll get a nice pivot here where the upper body turns more than the lower body. And then from that position there, well, again, it's a lot easier to pivot forward and have a nice active downswing and into that finished position. Here, tilt, turn, and then up into your finished position. And then do the opposite side too. Your opposite side, it's going to feel more awkward, right? It's not as coordinated, but it's good for the overall mobility. To open up the other side. And it'll actually improve to your athleticism and your coordination by working on that other side too at the same time. So these are easy to do. They don't take very long. They're a good way to warm up. They give you that feel for the swing, and then you're ready to swing. So you could do those easily on the range prior to practice. Do them at home as part of your practice routine. And you can see as I'm turning here, because I've been pivoting so much and then I'm able to unwind properly, that mat's moving quite a bit on me because I'm very active from the ground up with that good backswing turn. So I'm exerting lots of forces naturally through the ball with my lower body, which is what you want. And then you're ready. I'm opened up. I feel loose. And I can make some swings now. Take my stance. Get ready. Just make a couple swings and you're ready to go, and you'll feel that dynamic downswing happening just by making that good backswing coil. Won't even have to think about it. Set, back, ready to go. So give those a try. Use them to help with your backswing mobility. You'll help free up your backswing, free up your downswing. If you have any comments and questions, throw them in below. We'll be glad to get to them. And let's get out and play some golf. Barry from Hole in One Success.